Good morning and welcome back to another day of, well, not in the new house. It's one of those days where we don't start the intro in the house. I'm out shopping this morning. It's relatively early. Elizabeth's still asleep. But we've got lots of things we need to buy to be getting on with the bathroom. We've got a couple of U-bends we need to buy. We've got some more screws. We've got some wood treatment we need to buy. We've got some extra timber we need to buy. So I've gone out the house while she's asleep to go and get those. And then we're going to head home and get a crack-a-lacking with the bathroom. So let's go shopping and I will catch you all when I've got all the bits. Shopping update. We have 2 lengths of 2x6s. We've got more screws for floorboards. We've got a trap for the bath, a trap for the sink. We've got some hardwood treatment just to treat that damp joist. And we've got some more multi-tool blades because the other ones have got walkabouts. We also bought some milk and some frozen veg, so we've got plenty of stuff. Oh, and some coach bolts for that as well. I did just bump into some of our neighbours. Hello, neighbours. And they were talking about there. So we were talking about the bathroom, how it's going on. And they reckoned that had only been put in about 6 months before I bought the property. So it was basically brand new, which goes to show how badly it was fitted. So we're going to treat that sort of, that damp going into that joist now. It's just, I'm kind of glad that I have found out it was only put in 6 months ago. Because if it only started leaking 6 months ago, it gives me even more confidence. Like, it's not really that bad in terms of what's going on. So with the hardener, I'm probably going way overkill with hardener kill and bracing it and everything. But as always, I want to try and make sure things are safe and done properly. So we're going to have to get on with that this afternoon. Now we've got all the materials here. We've got loads of jobs to need to get on with ahead of Alex arriving a bit later on today. Job number 1 is going to be removing all the tiles on that back wall. So I will rejoin you with my handy dandy SDS back in hand. It's one of my favourite tools, the SDS. And we will get on to tile removal. Tiles are off. Now there's probably a bit more tidying up to do with like prep work for if I'm going to plaster that wall. When I plaster that wall, not if. That one's definitely getting plastered. You can see where all the sort of chunks and bits have ripped off with the tiles. Some of the plaster's good, some of the plaster's bad. I'm probably going to look at replacing these corner beads as well because they're a bit rusted. But we have discovered another problem. And that is, I've just gone and knocked a corner piece of tile out here, and this windowsill is basically, you remember we looking at the plaster downstairs? It's basically bedded on sand. Yeah, and I can just dig my finger under and pull it all out. So we're probably going to have to take this whole windowsill out as well and rebed that, because that is just dusty. Bit of a progress update, because there hasn't been anything really worthy of time lapse. We've cleaned up the worst of this mess. I've cleaned out this hole now. Thankfully, it's only that corner that seemed to have all that loose stuff in. The rest of this seems pretty solid. So I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with that yet. Whether we actually take it all the way back to brick and do it properly that way, which in my brain seems like a sensible thing to do, but it does mean more work. Or whether there's we just go with like filling that in with some compound or something else like that, just as a quicker way of getting through it. We'll make a decision on that a little bit later. In the meantime, I have taken out the upright that was on where this bedroom 2 door was entered, because I have decided, as Alex said I would probably do at some point, he was right, I'm going to take this floorboard out as well. One, because we've got a hole just there, look at that for finger straight pointing, where the old power was coming up. And then there's a bit of the damp problem where the water came through over here as well, which I don't think I've fully shown on camera yet. So you can see the top of this joist here, it's got a little bit, it's not terrible, but you can see where the water seeped into it and it's gone just a little bit damp. The rest of the beam underneath is actually fine. You can see it under there. It only comes down to about this sort of layer. but I still want to make sure that gets treated in the right way. So what we're intending to do is we're going to lift this floorboard up. We're going to take this piece of CLS off, which sort of confirms the whole, the bathroom's only been in about 6 months, because that's basically a brand new piece of CLS. It's had water on it as well, but nowhere near as damp as what's happened to that one, because it's older wood that's obviously absorbed the water better. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this floorboard off, we're going to take this CLS off. We're then going to pop some of this Ronseal wood rot hardener on that. We could do with drying that out again, so we may end up taking the hairdryer out and just trying to get that a little bit more dry. We're going to drop that on there. It takes about 2 hours to seal, and then we've got those 2 lumps of 2x6s in. We're going to run one either side of that beam there, a good length of the way along, put some coach bolts through the whole thing and just sort of shore that whole thing up. It's not that it's structurally unsafe, it's not that it's in any bad nick or anything, it's just my brain says, yeah, let's make sure that's not going to go anywhere at some point. So we're going to get rid of that floorboard, and then we're going to crack on with that action plan. Boom! Look at that. That is the most solid beam you've ever seen in your entire life. Complete and an overkill for the state of what it was, but I'm an engineer and that's what we do. Yeah, we did bend a couple of bolts while doing that down there. You might just be able to pick up on camera, especially that one on the left that's squiff. I didn't have a long enough drill bit, nor a right angled drill, so we kind of had to, you would have seen the time lapse, drill through both while clamped together to get a semi lined up hole, then put one against it, drill into the joist, then take that off and drill all the way through the joist, then put it back. And there was obviously a little bit of misalignment when we did that, but nothing too major. We managed to get those straightened out, cleared the holes out, got those through, ratcheted them all up, and yeah, solid as a rock now. Very, very happy with that. I think the next bit of job we've got to do is got to lift this last little stud half bit of floorboard, and then we're then at the stage where we're going to vacuum out all the joists again and start getting some new floorboards back down again. So we are now on the repair journey. We vacuumed those bits out. I put some noggins in to support the pipes. That's the waste for the sink, by the way. That one's the waste for the bath. Alex has returned from his ventures and we are now on chucking floorboards downstage. So we're going to go. We are jump back to the time lapse. This weekend is going to be a very, very time lapse heavy series of vlogs. Don't know whether people like them. If they do, then great. If they don't, then tough. That's what we're doing. calm down with your flappy impact driver. Well, we are progressing. You would have seen from that bit of time lapse we spent a lot of time discussing base plate arrangements. You may also notice that pipe isn't necessarily coming through the wall like it was intending to do.
I forgot that we were moving the wall in.
Yeah, so we've had to do that from there. We were trying to work out what's square in the house, and the answer is nothing. So we've basically got it to this place. Alex has very kindly gifted me an extra 4 mil inside the room here based on our agreement from there. But because of that pipe placement does mean we might have to chisel into a little bit of the wall to get the bath in, which I think is all right. So I think this base plate now is where we have settled on the wall being built. It's currently about 10 p.m, but the floor is down. We have a nice dance floor as well. I don't think I've even updated since we've had the dance floor. And the walls are now going in. Does mean we need to take more edge off that plaster as well.
Yeah, that's fine.
But we are there. So the bedroom wall's basically going to go back pretty much where it was originally. We're losing a little bit of room out the bathroom, obviously, because we've now got a 68 mil stud rather than the original 38s that were in there. And then we're losing, obviously, a lot of the width going that way again because we're putting thicker walls in. So it does mean all the walls are now thicker, which is very, very nice.
Apart from the one.
Apart from the one of the office. That will be the only remaining proper wall. But we are going. So we're going to keep forging onwards.
Eternal morning next.
Yeah, we'll update you when it's probably tomorrow's vlog already. And hopefully by then we have some walls in. We must, what's the word? We must construct additional pylons. End of day update then. I am a broken human. I've been on the go since about 8 o'clock this morning. And we didn't get as far as we wanted to do because we weren't expecting to having to do that floor joist, which just cost me more time. I didn't really have the proper tools for drilling through that depth, so it took me about 2 hours longer than it probably should have done to get that done. So we lost some time there as well. But on a more positive note, we have made mammoth progress. We have got pretty much all the floorboards back down. Massive help from Alex getting all of this in from there. We've got the base plates now set in where we're going to go put them and made some notches there for the cables ready to come through. That waste pipe, as we spoke about, is in the wrong place. That has got to be moved. But because of where we've mounted that board now, it's ever so slightly out of square by like 4 mil. It's very, very minimal. But it does mean that we can lift the floorboards on the other side to get access to the pipework when we need to without having to lift all the floor up. Likewise with this side, we've got the extra beam we've now put in there now. So that means if we ever need to access any of the like cables or pipework underneath here as well, we can just chop along that edge and then put the boards back down very safely as well, which is good. So yeah, we've got that beam treated, we've got the extra bracing on it, we've got all the floorboards down, we've got the stud work in, we've got all the tiles off the wall. I forgot I even did that this morning. But we still have a lot of work to do. We were just chatting with Alex now, trying to work out plan of action. Oh, I forgot to mention, we took the ceiling down as well. Because obviously there were so many flipping holes in it and we needed to move this, which you can't get access to anymore. So that is now come down as well. Now, fortunately, in the planning phase with Alex a little bit earlier on, oh, we got that as well. Me not supporting everything, we put the extra floor plate in there, then ready to support where the toilet's going to go as well. But yeah, unfortunately, as I was trying to say earlier, chatting with Alex and everything, there's so much plaster on this wall and it's so out of square at the moment. We need the extra room for the bath to go in. To obviously where we've mounted things up from there, cutting the channels and everything. The wall's such a mess anyway, we've decided now I'm just going to take this back to brick. But it does now mean I've got to take that back to brick and plaster it before we can now put the bath in, which adds a lot of time to the timeline, unfortunately. So tomorrow morning I'm going to have to run out to Screwfix. There's a couple of bits I need to pick up, again, just to allow Elizabeth as much time as possible to get some sleep in, because it is already like 1 o'clock in the morning. Hence why we've stopped making any more noise, because everything's going to be really noisy. So I'm going to run out to Screwfix first thing. Then I'm going to get ahead and knock all of this plaster off the wall, and then I've got to get plastering this wall straight away, which is one, a good thing, because it means I'm going to use up some of the plaster which is going out is going to be going out of date middle of November. But two, is also a good thing because I would want to plaster the bathroom first anyway, because I'm going to be tiling that back wall eventually. So it doesn't matter if I make too much of a mess of it while I'm learning, because we're going to be sticking stuff over it anyway. So that allows us to get through. Things we've got to pick up from Screwfix. Screwfix, we're going to get the corner beading. So you'll see here, these are all rusted, so it's kind of good we're taking these off anyway. So we're going to re-corner those those areas back up there. And I've also got to get some waterproof sealant stuff. It's called a tanking kit, which we're going to paint up over the walls and everything eventually when we put the bath in. So yeah, many stuff to do. A little bit behind schedule. Quite a lot behind schedule, but I am actually over the moon with the amount of progress we've made, because we have done huge amounts of work today, and we actually now have a dance floor, which we can stand on as well. So what I'm probably going to just do with the remainder of the time tonight, probably won't record it, is just have a bit of a tidy up in here, just to make the room a little bit easier to work in, because we're forever treading over tools and bits and stuff like that. I've stacked most of the wood up here now that we're going to be using. There's a couple more bits I need to move. But then at least we've got a fresh start ready to go and come straight in at it in the morning. And I'm literally going to leave my SDS with the chisel bit sitting there, so I can literally walk in, and you'll see it in the time lapse tomorrow. I'll walk in, pick it up and go bang, and we'll knock all that off the wall. See how long it takes. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed a very time-lapse heavy vlog. Another one after yesterday's time-lapse heavy vlog. I'm actually a bit out of kill with posting the vlogs, because I didn't post one in vlog speak when you see things. So 2 weeks ago I didn't post one, and then I didn't post one again the next day, and I still haven't edited one for that. So I may try and sit and do that quietly in bed tonight, depending how quickly I fall asleep. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please do consider subscribing, and we will catch you all for more house related shenanigans tomorrow.